What's going on, guys? And basically in today's video it's going to be a little bit more unscripted because I had frankly just an insane day, and I'll talk about that to you guys in another video. I'm going to let the dust settle a little bit because it's actually that crazy. Now the first thing I want to kind of get into is, if you guys have seen the thumbnail, I did just read the book. It's like Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy, I believe it was, and super interesting. A lot of it actually does really apply to just anything in life, the psychology behind it, but a lot of it actually applies to online sales. And that's what I really want to go and talk to you guys about today, is just that, is online sales and the psychology of selling. So let's go and get on into it. So like I said, I had an insane night. It's about 9 o'clock at night right now, and I just didn't have time during the day to do this. So I have a handy dandy little notepad. I'm going to be kind of talking and reading this at the same time, so bear with me, guys, but definitely very valuable information. So the first thing I want to talk about with selling and just making money in general is going to be your self-image. And that sounds a little strange. However, if you think about it this way, whatever your self-image is, it usually projects to other people, whether it be verbal, non-verbal, whatever the case may be. And if you don't have a very good self-image, you might have you probably will have a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors, whether that's going to be financial in our case, right? Which is not a good thing. Now, we have something in this industry, just entrepreneurial niche, the sales niche, business niche in general, and it's called the self-concept. And basically what that is you are wired to make a certain amount of money. Okay, so check this out, and a very good story. Now, Donald Trump, I know he's a very controversial character. However, he's a very good example of this. So I read this once, okay? He was walking down the street. I don't remember exactly where he was, but he looked at this homeless man, and he turns to his wife and he says, "That man has $4 billion more than we do," because that's when he was bankrupt. That's when he owed $4 billion. And I believe that's pretty accurate as to what he had. And he, as you guys know, is the president of the United States now. He has billions and billions of dollars now. And the reason being is because he has a blueprint, a money blueprint, or a self-concept that says, I am nothing less than a billionaire. So he does not stop until he becomes a billionaire. And it's the same exact thing with any sort of job. If you guys have been making, say $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 per year, and you just can't seem to get past, it's because of the internal beliefs that you believe that you're not able to make more money. Now, that's something that I'm really going to hone in on this year. And like I said, my goal is going to be 1.4 million. I actually recently got a new job, and I'm really excited to do that because I'm going to be basically using that job's profits in order to promote my stuff more, so I can get in front of more of you guys and hopefully influence a lot more of you guys. So I actually went up. I'm going to be hopefully making a decent amount of money at this job. I'm projecting around 300 to 400,000. I'm hoping that's what I'm hoping, right? But very good sales job. That's why I'm kind of reading more into sales, and I'm thinking about 1.7. So I need to change my money blueprint from, the least that I've ever made, right, to the most I'm going to make. And this year, like I said, I want to make 1.7. So I need to tell myself that I am worth 1.7. I'm not worth anything less than 1.7, okay? And very strong concept, right? So we got those two knocked out. The other thing I'm going to really work on, and this is going to be with selling, with mainly selling yourself and selling a product. And this is going to be kind of face-to-face, not so much on websites, unless you guys use videos. Videos are so fantastic, but this is called enthusiasm, okay? Or just likability. People buy things, or they just watch people, so they subconsciously buy into whatever you're selling, right? Which it could be comedy, it could be entertainment, it can be education. You know what I mean? So they're subconsciously buying into whatever you are selling them, right? And that's very strong concept. Now, likability can be a lot of different things, and if they have something in this niche, it's called ethos, right, which is credibility. So I always use the Instagram influencer movement, and that is a very strong factor. And the reason behind that is because likability and credibility, right? So you find people that are very likable people or person that has a huge audience, devoted to that person, and then you have them pitch your product, and it works just wonders. And it's because of this exact same concept. So we're going to go in and get into the next thing, which is going to be sales goals. Now, this is going to be probably one of my favorite things, and it doesn't have to be sales. However, an entrepreneur, that's your bread and butter. You need to be a good salesman. You can outsource the rest. You can outsource accounting. You can outsource most money management. You can outsource the copy, stuff like that, right? but you need to have a good understanding of sales. And that's why I really strongly recommend this book. It's a very good book, link down in the bio. But yeah, so goals. And the thing is, this kind of relates into that self-concept. So you need a benchmark, a metric on every single time that you hit something, so you know exactly where you are. So say, let's just take my example, right? So I bumped it up, $1.7 million this year, right? Now I'm going to have to go and split that between every month, and it's going to kind of ramp up. It's going to look like this. So I'll say, $20,000 here, $40,000 here, $60,000 here, $80,000 here, $100,000 here. That's going to be, per month, obviously it's going to ramp up, right? Now, this is a really cool concept because, like I said, it's benchmarks. And the thing that this guy found out is, Brian Tracy, right? And I experienced this exact same thing because I've been in sales all my life, right? Is this concept is if you make goals, you tend to hit those freaking goals. I mean, it's crazy, but it sounds weird. You tend to hit those goals, and sometimes you'll surpass those goals. And this kind of feeds hand in hand with your self-concept, because if you hit your goals or surpass your goals, your self-concept says, hey, I only make $50,000 a year, right? $50,000 a year. If you make $60,000 that year, then you're going to self-sabotage yourself, subconsciously. You're probably going to make less the next year to kind of average it out, right? The law of averages is always at work, guys. So very, very important to have a good self-concept as well as proper goals. And we're going to get into the last thing here, which is going to be just identifying the needs of the customer correctly. And this is so important. There are so many needs. It's absolutely insane. And I know people can lump them into 4 needs, health, wealth, love, happiness, whatever, which I've talked about a lot. I'm not discrediting that, but there's a lot of subcategories as well. You don't just want to kind of lump them together. You want to be able to hit every single one of these needs in order to sell your product or service, in order to sell yourself, right? So it's really, really cool. And the way to identify these is just by asking questions. And if you're not, over the phone, if you're not, face to face with sales, if it's more of an online thing, then you need to gather market research data. And that's going to be through Facebook, through Google AdWords, through other people in the niche. The possibilities are literally endless. And just for a treat for you guys who did stick through this entire thing, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But for the guys, for those of you who have stuck through this entire thing, I'm going to give you guys kind of a list of just the basic human needs that you guys can really cater to, okay? And I'm just going to give you guys in a list. I can expand on them in the future, but for now, it's been late. It's been a crazy day. I'm still pumped full of adrenaline, so I kind of want to relax. But yeah, so the first one is going to be financial, which is money, right? They're going to have a need for security, okay? And that can be all sorts of, it can be the shelter of your head. It can be security for your relationship, whatever. Being liked. We have, the status or prestige, personal growth, right? So people, and this is a really interesting concept too, and I didn't, I said I wasn't going to expand, but this is pretty important. Personal growth, okay? So what's the reason that you want to go from, a Ford GT, Ford Mustang GT to a Lamborghini to, Ford GT, like the actual Ford GT to a Lamborghini Centenario, you know what I mean? It's because of growth. It's personal development, right? You want to better yourself in every single one of those aspects. It's not because of anything else. It's just personal growth, right? That's what people really live for, essentially, is what this guy's saying, at least, right? The next one's going to be health. The next one is you want to feel important, all right? You want to feel like you belong to something. And then this is actually pretty sweet too. He said about 10% of the population just wants to stay up to date. So if you have a technology or you have a product or service that's very, very cutting edge, about 10% of those people are going to want that just because they want the newest thing, Really big thing that's going on right now is obviously cryptocurrency. So people are starting to want that as well as virtual reality. Okay. And the next one that I have, if I could read my handwriting, is love and companionship. And this is a very strong one of the bigger motivators in life. And so that's going to be the human needs that I kind of listed off there. I believe that was 10. Yeah, about 10 human needs. Okay. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Like I said, go and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'm going to be giving you guys tips, tricks, documentaries on how to sell, make money online, and just be, an overall better human being, right? So if any of that sounds interesting to you, hit that button, and you guys have a good rest of your night.